And welcome into the Lakers Fast Break Watch Party. And we are back with Laker Tom. This is the Lakerholics Spotlight. I am your host, Sean Grace, aka the Magic Man. Gerald Glassford would be with us right now, but right now he's on another project and he needed some scheduling time to do it. And he asked me to host this evening. I said it was my pleasure. I'm with Laker Tom, one of my good friends. So we're going to be discussing the game tonight. Finally, we get to see the Lakers in action. Tom, we go through the season, and around September, I could care less about the other sports going on. To be honest, man, I'm just jonesing for my Lakers at that point. But when the leaves start turning brown, I know that it's Lakers season, man. So it's a crisp fall day here in Toronto. I saw the weather up where you are. It's beautiful.
It's terrible. It's 90 degrees, and we are not built for. Nobody has air conditioning here, so it's scorching.
Well, tonight we see the Lakers finally in action, Tom. Now It's going to be without LeBron James and Austin Reeves. What do you expect out of this starting five? And what matchup or two are you most looking forward to seeing tonight?
Well, I think what's kind of fascinating about tonight is that, assuming that you've got Austin Reeves' backup being somebody, probably maybe Max will get a chance to start because he's the primary backup in almost every depth chart that I see. And then Rui is a backup for LeBron. So then the question is, who's the third starter, the third guy to go with the two superstars? Is it Vandal? Is it Taurean Prince? It'll be interesting to see who shows up as that other person. And it's not even. It's kind of funny. We've been getting mixed messages from Darvin Ham and all of the people. First, for a while there, we were being told that they were going to adjust the lineups for every single team. Now today they've come out and said, no, that's not going to happen. We want to set lineups so everybody knows, what they can go through the routine and they know if they're starting and versus coming off the bench and so forth. So I'm as excited as I have ever been for the first preseason game. I think the team I think Rob has done a terrific job putting together a roster that for once really makes sense. I wish we had a 300-pound guy to throw against Jokic. I wish we had Drew Holiday, frankly, but we've got a doggone good team, and if all of the wild cards come up gold rather than coming up as duds, then we could really vaunt from the fifth best team to the best team by the end of the season. So I'm looking for first signs tonight. I think I don't mind that LeBron and Austin aren't playing. I think it gives us an opportunity to see some of these other guys, which we're really more interested in seeing right at this point in time. And I'd like to avoid the injuries. Maybe the last two games before we start with the starters out there for a half or something. But otherwise, treat preseason like preseason.
Absolutely. And we also welcome in Mr. Yami Swoot to the show. Jamie, we finally get some Lakers basketball. So what are you looking forward to tonight? Like, is there someone you're keen on seeing how they do, or is it more about watching Ham and if he's actually learned from some misjudgments from last year? 3-guard lineups.
I don't know that I'm not. Yeah, I mean, we will see 3-guard lineups. Like, it's coming. Like, there's no.
It's matchup. You have to match up against it sometimes.
It's with Vincent, Reeves, and Russell. There will be moments when just all three are on the floor. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And like, one of them will be these.
And trying to get Jamie Sweet back.
I think he was going to say one of them. One of them was. Go ahead, Jamie.
We got Jamie back.
These first 2 or 3 games, I was going to say, I'm going for your.
Looks great, man.
We need a sponsor. Sunglass sponsors. Hit us up. We could use a sunglass sponsor. So I mean, the first 2 or 3 games, I'm looking at 5 things. We'll keep it simple. 5 things I'm looking at, and I'm working on my first 5er right now of the new season. It kind of got bogged down because my week got bogged down. But number 1 is improved perimeter shooting from guys who were not great perimeter shooters last season. Max Christie, who was okay in small minutes, but I want to see him be more consistent, and then like in some type of role, like something that you can expect to see him play consistently. Can he hit a 3 or 2 in 2 minutes every 3 minutes of his playing time? Right, something along those lines. Because I see him getting tonight, a lot of run, but as the preseason wanes on, we're going to see him get less run. So can guys like Christie, Vando, even guys who are good shooters, Prince, are we getting them spots? Are they getting into places where they can be effective, and are they making their shots? It's great to see guys. AD even is on that list, right? AD and his hopefully returned jump shot is on that list for me as well. So
yeah, he was in his mid-range game was in it felt like it was in shackles all year long until around late March there, Jamie, and then in the playoffs it ticked up a little bit, but you were right. It was just
and his 3-point attempts have gone down by at least 1 every season since winning the.
If you don't take them, you can't make them. It's pretty.
That's right. It's a pretty simple formula for AD. Yeah. He needs to average 4 3-pointers a game over the course of the preseason. Work it out. Get it. Work it into your game.
Vogel had it right by saying take 5 a game. Put that
4 to 5 a game. 4 to 5 a game is totally acceptable for AD. And if he makes 1 or 2, then you're going to see defenses have to come out and deal with him out there. But if he's not taking them, they're just going to let him stand out there. And it's going to gum everything up, kind of like it did for the first couple of months last season, especially.
But you're right, Jamie. If the Lakers' offense this year is going to be milk and cookies, it's got to start with AD and his mid-range.
It's got to start with AD anywhere he gets the
and
ball.
LeBron in his 3. Can't take 8 threes a game and not shoot well.
Yeah, he needs to drop that down to like 6, but he's not. So that's.
Well, he'll shoot a better percentage, I think, this year.
I hope. We'll see. I think
I sure hope so, Tom, because I thought a lot of his
you better as you get older, man, because
bad shots were based on just critical thinking and processing. I think, because he's lost a step or two, Tom, he thinks he can make it up from 34 or 35 feet, and there's only 3 guys I know that can do that. Trae Young, Steph Curry, and Damian Lillard. Everybody else, you don't get the benefit of the doubt.
No. Although LeBron, I think, shoots far because he's so strong. It's a little bit more of an organic shot for him than right at the 3-point line. A step back is okay, but it's when he barely crosses half court and lets it fly. It's like, no, you're not that dude. You're not that dude.
Well, it's almost every player. You have to look at the very few players who it's time and situation when you want to take a fast break 3. That's D'Lo's bread and butter, for example. But it ain't LeBron.
And hopefully Prince's.
And
LeBron is terrible percentage on those. He's give him the ball on a stand-up situation. He's great.
And Tom brings up a great point. How are they going to play the offense tonight without Austin and LeBron?
Well,
are you going to play fast? Or are you going to play a little slower? I think I'm with Jamie. I think you should play fast.
I think you got to play fast all the time.
You got to play.
Yeah, you got to play fast all the time.
We're deep. We're athletic. What else do you do, man? That's what you do. You run into the ground.
So thing number 2 I'm watching for tonight is how are these guys who have an undefined role going to show up? Are they going to show up and just start jacking up shots? Are they going to play like it's garbage time for 48 minutes? If that's the case, you're likely not earning yourself a rotation spot. You're not carving out a role. Can these guys succeed in a role that the coaching staff has set out for them to succeed in? If they can't do that, then you're going to see towards the end of preseason fewer minutes for a guy like Cam Reddish. He comes in and just tries to
aren't you saying that's a test though, almost of Darvin Ham, right? Darvin Ham and Rob Pelinka and the guys that they chose. Because I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Rob's done. Rob can grab a pina colada from the concession stand, put his feet up, and chill out. He's done.
Yeah, but the guys we've gotten so far, I'd be surprised if we have somebody, even though we've got some wild cards on this team, I'd be surprised if we've got guys who haven't already bought into the culture that LeBron and AD have created in this.
I mean, listen, this is the beauty of preseason and media day and stuff like this. Everybody says such wonderful things.
Man. We're undefeated.
All the words are wonderful. Everybody's saying the right things. Everybody looks like they're on their best behavior. I'm interested in what they do. So we'll see what they do. So if Reddish comes out and starts trying to be the next Jordan, or Wood shows up and starts jacking up shots and early in the shot clock without running something kind of resembling an offense, these are going to be indicators that they're not much has changed in their mentality in terms of the team approach.
If they come out and do that, they're going to be gone fairly quickly.
They'll sit at the end of the bench. That's what's going to happen, and they'll have that to work on themselves. So my hope is that they don't. My hope is that we've come out, we run something resembling an offense. I expect to see either Vincent or Prince start in Reeves' slot tonight. I don't know if it's been announced. Prince is going to have It hasn't yet, right? I expect to see Prince get a lot of run. I expect to see Vincent get a lot of run in preseason, and guys like Wood and Reddish having to prove that they should get a lot of run. And so if they prove that they should get a lot of run, it'll be interesting to see how this evolves over the next few preseason games to where does Reddish end up getting some of Prince's minutes because he is a more dynamic player. Does Wood get more of Hayes' minutes? Same argument, Can Hayes be a defensive impact right off the bat and make
I think it all comes down to Ham and defense first. I agree. He's going to every one of these matchups is going to come down to who plays the best defense. And I don't have a problem with that.
Nope.
We got enough talent offensively to cover. I don't even have a problem that they want to start Bendo. As I said before, this is the first time I haven't rooting for a particular lineup. I like the team we got.
One thing Darvin Ham expects if you're going to be a big in his defense is to hedge, and you better hedge as fast as you can. If Hayes doesn't do that, he's not going to get any playing time. That's number one. And Jamie hit the nail on the head. If Christian Wood gets a little lackadaisical on offense, that has a pronation, especially with our team, to bleed over into the defense. And sometimes it's 4-on-5, or sometimes you're not even paying attention to the mismatch you're in, and there's a lack of communication. Just a couple of examples. So yes, everybody needs to be on their P's and Q's tonight. And me and Gerald were speculating about that ourselves, Tom and Jamie. We think that unfortunately, because Christian Wood provides such a shot in the arm offensively, and he's definitely a better help defender than Jackson. And then that's all due respect to Jackson. But the fact is that if he's not going to hedge hard and hit the boards hard, he's not going to find minutes with Darvin Ham. Do you guys agree, or do you have a different take? Tom?
I generally think you're right that it's not only the athleticism to play defense, but it's also the being in the right position at the right time and knowing what to do. There's an IQ that totally controls the situation. It's why LeBron can be a greater defender when he has to be in a lot of situations, even though he can't athletically keep up with the quicker guys. But I think that there's a couple of interesting questions that still have to be answered by the Lakers on how they're going to play. Are they going to – I've read a lot of reports that say that we're going to see a much more aggressive hedging on pick and rolls. And we're going to be a lot more aggressive on it. I personally think we should be switching more than we do in the past, because when you switch, it's harder to penetrate. And when you play a drop coverage like we do most of the time, you're leaving those floaters open, and we're getting killed with floaters and little short mid-range jumpers.
Yeah,
now we've got size to contest some of that.
You're right about that, Tom. I think the frustration came with guys like Damian Jones and unfortunately Mo Bamba. I thought Wenyen did an okay job of switching. He did his best, but I thought
we played best when AD stopped playing drop coverage. When AD would come up and depending on, I mean, people switch because it's simple. It's easy, you know. What do? The guys come and switch. It makes playing defense so much easier than to have to say, who is this coming? Can he shoot? Does he go under? Can I go over? Can I go under on him? And you got all of these decisions to make. And then you get a lot of guys who try to make those decisions, and it slows them down so badly that they're inefficient. They're ineffective, you know. So you try to, if you have a team of smart guys where everybody can make those decisions, that's beautiful. If you got AD and Bando on a pick and roll, man, that's nice because you got two guys who are smart enough to know what the opponent is trying to do, you know, and how to cut them off. But I think we've improved offensively, not defensively. So if you've improved offensively, then you got to start thinking about maybe we need to do something strategically or tactically different to help our players who aren't as good. Like we've lost Dennis Schroeder. Where's our on-ball point of attack defender now? Who's going to shut those guys down? That's why I think you got to start thinking about switching, or you got to start thinking about maybe the guy who starts is the best defender at point guard, not Russell. Maybe it's the other guy, you know, who's a good defender.
I don't see that happening in camp.
I don't see it happening at this point, you know, but
yeah.
And I see Reeves as being the point guard who would take over if we were to move Russell. I don't think it would be. I don't think Gabe would move into the starting lineup. But we definitely have some defensive things that we hopefully got a shot blocker for our second team so that when AD goes out, we're not just totally unable to protect the rim. But we still have that point of attack defense. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see what Ham does being a Budenholzer guy who's playing drop coverage with a team that has always played drop coverage. You know, will they change that, you know, and get more aggressive? One good thing about both Wood and Hayes is they're both pretty good defending on the perimeter. They both have pretty good lateral mobility and can stick with guys and can stay with guards and, you know, and block their shots. So it's not, you know, there are reasons, and our guards are bigger now. If you play switch everything, it's not good to do it when you got a bunch of 6'1", 6'2" guards because you switch everything and you're going to get killed. But we got 6'4", 6'5" guards. So there's reasons. There's a whole bunch of tactical decisions that I'm real interested to see what happens. And I'm hoping that we'll see glimpses of it in training camp. And obviously which ones work, hopefully will be the things that will be part of the package that Ham and his coaches put together as we head into the season.
Absolutely. Great point, Tom. And you're right. I half expect the defense to just be tinkered with just a little bit. You know, when Milwaukee had their championship run, they played a lot of drop coverage. And not only did they play a lot of drop coverage, Coach Bud emphasized that they could allow wide open three-point shots. Well, it's funny, Tom, 2 years later when they're playing the Heat in their first round, they're not playing that kind of style defense.
Yeah, wow.
They're having Brook Lopez up near the painted area and trying to suck everybody into the mid-range, and it didn't work out so well, as Jamie was kind of shaking his head there. So I'm with you. I think point of attack that the defenders we have now, much, much better than last year. Absolutely. And you're right. You're right, Tom. The ability to have that for whoever it is, be able to at least be somewhat of a roamer allows AD to be that perfect center in the modern NBA's defense.
It's interesting that AD, they ask him, are you a 4 or a 5? And he just said, I'm a big man. That's it, you know. But what he really doesn't, but you notice the other quote that came right along after that was when he was playing the 4, he said, you know, it's great not to have to cover every single play on a pick, you know. Every single play I'm going and setting a pick. The first thing he does is a center.
Yep.
And you think about that. So that's that freedom. It's sort of that freedom to be out there and to face up his man and not have to be part of a set play or to initiate the offense. I think a lot of that has to do with the sort of ego of the modern NBA superstar, that you don't want to play 5 because it's limited because of what you have to do and who you have to defend sometimes,
Well,
It's so much more freedom playing a 2 or 3.
It's funny that you bring that up because that's thing number 4. I have thing number 3 that we will get back to. We'll just move this up.
Take it
to 3.
over there.
No. So thing number 3 is AD's defense. I've always said that he is an elite help defender, and he is a solid, if not above average, to basically elite paint defender. But he's at his best when he's not.
But that depends on matchups. If somebody's got size on him, it's sometimes hard for him to stay out of foul trouble.
I agree, but that's what I mean. When he has a guy down low that can soak up the contact, soak up the paint fouls, do an admirable job just protecting the rim and calling out the coverages and being that paint defender like Dwight was, like JaVale was, which we hoped.
They freed AD up to do exactly what you said.
He becomes the best help defender in the game of basketball because he is watching. He's not taking the play off. He's reading the play and trying to see how best he can disrupt it or block.
It's often that he disrupts the pass to somebody else.
Exactly. He'll slide into the open space where they think there's a space because he is sneaky quick and he is sneaky smart.
It's that roamability that is the whole deal about it.
Yep. If he can be that, that free safety on defense that just disrupts everything, the Laker defense has a chance to be something special.
Yep.
Thing number 3 I'm looking for is none other than Jalen Hood-Schifino, who had a forgettable summer league, but has been evidently wowing in camp. Which player are we going to get? Are we going to get Camp Wow or forgettable summer? I would love to see Camp Wow. I don't know what Camp Wow looks like, but it sounds better than what I saw.
One part of Camp Wow that's fascinating is perimeter point of attack defense.
That's what I'm saying.
One of the things that Darwin was pointing out that he was great at, because he's got great size. He's 6'4" with a 6'10" wingspan. On offense, the only thing he didn't show to me was the ability to hit the 3, because he's for a 20-year-old kid, he controls the dribble and in the paint among a lot of traffic very, very well, and he can pass, and his mid-range is deadly. It's a weird thing though that the Lakers also got a lot better mid-range shooting as well as 3-point shooting, I think.
Hopefully,
in this particular last off season. Yeah, as long as the Lakers curse doesn't hit us, right?
Well, you potentially with D'Lo,
Prince.
AD, Prince, and a Prince or a Rui there. You have 3 very, very, very.
Don't forget Reeves.
Don't forget
very
Reeves.
good
Right,
mid-range shooters. Yes, so potentially 4. But I mean, I've always believed in the point of you got to take what the defense gives you.
I've always believed you keep doing it until they stop it.
That works too. But it's kind of just waiting for that defensive flaw to be exposed, and then you completely rip it open with a crowbar. I mean, we'll see that more in the playoffs, Tom. But we've seen that LeBron, Gabe Vincent, Austin Reeves, Anthony Davis. You've got a lot of high IQ basketball players now on the floor, and about 3 or 4 of them might not have the ball in their hands. So I expect a lot of off-ball movement as well, Tom. That we didn't see a lot of that at the start of the season.
Who do you think is going to be the biggest recipient of that?
That's a great question. I think it would be LeBron James.
That's exactly who I was thinking too, because they want Reeves to handle the ball a lot more. And if you think about who is the hardest cover to stop from going backdoor or from posting you up right underneath the basket, it's James, man. Because all he gets that one step and get you on his butt, and he's got you locked. Or just even looking away from the guy at 1 second and cutting to the basket. LeBron is one of those few players who could almost be as impactful without the ball as he is with the ball. I mean, and that, I know that sounds like a ludicrous thing to say when I look at it in retrospect, but it's one of those things like AD being a great individual defender and a great
Tom, I gotta be honest. Seeing Austin's progress from the 3-point line to the paint, I haven't seen a player take that big of a jump before. I mean, he learned
turned into
lot.
a 50, 40, 90 player.
He really did. He really did. And outside of a couple superstars we have, I can't think of a guy who's got better body control in the paint and can take contact and finish.
Yeah.
That brings us to point number 1.
Okay, yeah, right. Go with it, Jamie.
Point number 1 is, can we continue our excellence at generating and defending free throws? That was one of the big reasons we had a lot of success without being an elite or even average 3-point shooting team last year. So if, let's say, our 3-point shooting ticks up to closer to average, meaning we're taking probably more long-range shots, are we going to still be merciless in attacking the paint? And is our shot selection still going to be excellent? Basically, is what
I think the odds are in our favor simply because of who's going to have the ball.
That's my hope, but we'll see.
Because the guys who are going to have the ball are all. Look at the guys who you look at them and you start with LeBron and AD. They're going to draw fouls like crazy, and if we have any spacing, they're going to draw more fouls. Then you got Austin Reeves rather.
Whoa.
You got Reeves who can draw fouls. You got Rui who can draw fouls. I mean, we're going to miss Dennis, who was great at drawing fouls.
Yep.
He's probably one that we're really going to miss because he was an excellent free throw shooter too.
And crafty at getting in the paint and just dipping around.
Yeah. And then last year, defensively, even though we weren't a great defensive team, we finished pretty strong. And the key thing was that we got so many more free throws than all of the other teams combined, like type of situation.
Yes,
so
there was.
We were
merciless. It was a vast
gap. The lowest number of fouls and the most free throws, and we gave up the least number.
And points in the paint.
There was less of a disparity.
And points in the paint.
There was less of a disparity between the number 2 free throw shooting team and the number 10 free throw shooting team as it was to the disparity between the number 2 team and the Lakers, which was, I think it was ungodly. It was like plus 185 or something.
We probably can't replicate that realistically.
No, I wouldn't expect to. But we
can do it. But we found the formula.
Wow,
we found a formula which was that we could match the 3-point differential, negative 3-point differential, by winning the points in the paint and the free throw battle. And now we don't have to win it as much. We probably won't win it as much because I think we can be an average. I think we can move from 25th to like 15th in 3-point shooting. And that makes a huge difference too, because we were giving up like 20 points a game.
No. We were getting killed at the 3-point line and killing points in the paint. Yeah. It often came down to the free throws as to whether we won or lost, especially down the stretch. When Reeves went from averaging, I think, like 3 or 4 free throws a game.
Yeah, but the points in the paint. The points in the paint. I did a big study on this because I have an article that never made it, but I was talking about those exact ratios. And what surprised me was when we got to the end of the season, it was the free throws that were so much more dominant than the points in the paint, because we'd run into some problems late in the season where we weren't winning the points in the paint because of our size problems. And that really took away a lot of that early fire that we had when the points in the paint were good. When LeBron went out, for example, we had a whole period of time there where we were very undersized, especially when AD would go out. And you didn't have LeBron or AD in there. So I think we can do better in points in the paint to make up for what we will lose in the free throw shooting this year, because we've added size, and that's really what cost us a lot in the points in the paint.
I will also add that we had guys from the very beginning. From the very beginning of the season last year, our identity was attack the rim, because we had Russ, who can't shoot. Right. So you want him at least getting the ball to the rim so that we have a better chance to rebound. Russ was an elite rebounder. AD was an elite rebounder. You were, LeBron, when he wants to be, can be an elite rebounder. You were hoping the ball got to one of those guys and that the secondary shot would come to us. We weren't an elite offensive rebounding team last year. We were only average.
So if we can shore up a
Wood
couple
will
of
help
those
us there.
things,
Wood's an excellent rebounder. He may be our best rebounder now.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there's an opportunity here to sort of change the script a little bit, but I do think this team's identity, and it's kind of starts with Ham, to be honest, starts with the idea that your best shot is going to be 5 feet away and closer to the rim. Get the ball as close to the rim.
We still should be an attack team.
Need to be an attack team.
Attack team, man. We should run because that's a chance to attack.
Yep. So to that, I'm hopeful to see Hood Shafino get some run tonight. Want to see the kids get some run. I think we'll see. The roster's still at like 20 something, right? So
I think everybody will play. Everybody will play tonight.
Yeah, I think everybody will play, and I think the second half will basically be a G League game.
I think what is more meaningless than the first preseason game?
The second preseason game.
The last preseason game, maybe.
The last one has a little meaning in that you kind of want to see things.
Yeah, but you also don't want anybody to get hurt.
No, you don't want anybody, but you want to kind of see like what is it that we're going to be doing this year. You want to see like a vibe in the last preseason game.
What I want to see is every game a blowout, so LeBron and AD rest.
Good luck with that. I would like to see that.
That's my load management for the year.
I like your load management, Tom. I don't expect it to happen, but I'm rooting for it.
That's the best load management,
It is. It is.
Sitting on the bench, icing up their knees, relaxing.
So I see there's some questions about who are our starting five, and I'd like to thank Kurt Affair for pumping up the subscribe button. And I'm going to say it now, like and subscribe. Get us to 20 likes here on our first game day of the year, even though it's just a preseason game day. Let's do a like and subscribe run here.
Who's the starters there, Jamie?
My starters today are going to be D'Lo, Christie.
Oh no, were we asking the question for today or for the regular season?
Just for today.
Oh, okay.
Because we got to get through some preseason and see how this works out for that fifth, even potentially.
No finals predictions yet?
Huh? No, I'm not doing a finals prediction yet, Tom. Sorry.
Okay.
I would like for us to win it all. But I'm not gonna get into my I hate predictions. They're just so silly. It's just like there's so much to go. It's like, what's the end of the book say? All right, now let's start from the beginning. Like, it doesn't work like that. Like, we got to read the whole book. Anyway, I'm calling D'Lo starter, Christie shooting guard. I'm gonna go with Prince at the 3 today. You could just as easily start Hachimura, and Vando AD. I think they're going to start with that. I think that the Vando AD tandem really made a lot of noise in the regular season. And it starts you off with a lot of effort and energy and poise, especially if you start Prince over Hachimura. Prince is I think he's going to kind of be like
the best shooter of the 3 forwards.
Well, and like how Troy Brown Jr. last year, whether he was great or not at his role, he at least knew his role, right? He wasn't trying to like go outside of his role almost ever.
No, but he was always a step late on a late.
I'm not saying he was great at it, but
and an inch short on.
Sure, I'm not trying to say there's a reason he's not on the team this year, and we have Prince. Prince is better, taller. You want a guy like Prince.
Take a guy in a corner on offense. Prince is maybe the best choice. If that's what your strategy.
Yeah. But I honestly don't expect AD to play more than 10, 15 minutes. I mean, he might not play after his first run of the game, You might see AD play the full starting lineup. You might see everybody who's a projected starter play 10, 15 minutes. See a lot of Christie, see a lot of Hood Shafino, Colin Castleton, all the camp invites, all the guys who are going to get cut in a week or two. They're all going to get a chance to shine tonight. And so, enjoy the game for what it is, but that it's going to be, by the second half, it's going to be a G League game. There's no need to pretend it's going to be anything but that. And let's be honest, it should be a G League. We know where our strength lies. We know the guys who are going to be in the mix. We might just not know exactly where they'll be game to game or how we're going to roll out the starting lineup to start the season, stuff like that. And that'll all get decided in the next month or so, a few weeks. But I'm excited to just get it back to it. I'm excited to see, some Laker jerseys out there running around.
Just talk about it, man.
It's fun just to talk about it. And you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of excited to see Chris Paul as a Warrior. What's that going to look like? How Steve Kerr navigates that this season is going to be a fun side plot for everybody to follow. And it'll be interesting to see how that all works.
Well,
and I'm curious to see if Clay looks any more explosive on defense than he did last season, where he very obviously took a step back. So,
and actually, Jamie, I was recently on Let's Go Warriors with Rich too. Shout out to Let's Go Warriors.
Yep.
And they had mentioned that Clay will now specifically guard fours.
Power forwards. Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting. So
yeah,
going with bulk
Correct.
over speed.
Yeah, Kerr feels that even though what he may lack in bulkness, Clay's strong like a bull, so he expects him to guard fours. I will say this, Jamie, I'm with you. It's going to be interesting. They're fielding the smallest starting five in about 45 years. The Washington Bullets in the 70s with Bobby Dandridge, Alvin Hayes, and Wes Unseld. That's how far you have to go back for this small of a starting five. Curry, Paul, Thompson, Wiggins, and Looney. You never know.
You're going to see a lot more Looney than you think.
Yeah,
No, that's okay. I don't mind.
Well,
I like Looney's game.
Something to Kevon Looney's credit, he was on the team that had the best starting five in the whole NBA.
Yep.
He gave Anthony Davis a couple of headaches, especially in that game 5.
Yep.
So that's going to be
If we wanted a perfect defensive center to play next to AD, I would not mind at all having him.
No, he was kind of
Looney,
he would be perfect big body to throw against people, because you can't leave him alone on the glass. You just cannot leave him alone. So who's your starting five tonight, Sean?
Yeah, Tom. You know what? I think I'd go with D'Lo. I'd go with Christie. I'd give Christie a shot. I'd go with Prince at the 3.
Okay.
And then I'd go with AD at the 4 and Wood at the 5, personally.
Oh wow!
I like your outside.
I actually love that lineup.
That's you're talking Laker Tom's language right there. All shooters.
Yeah.
Hopefully, some guys who decide.
But I think
I can see right through the dark glasses for that one.
I think he's gonna roll with Prince at the 3, and then I think.
I think it's going to be Vando and Vando and AD.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Makes a lot of sense, but it's funny. Now, who do you think they've talked about the fact that Ham has this fifth starter. He's already named him. He hasn't named him, but he's already identified him in his mind, and he won't tell you. He won't tell you why he's choosing him, because he says that would be a giveaway. I need size in offense, or I need size in defense. I need a point of attack defense. I mean, you can pretty well tell who he's going to choose. So,
it's not a giveaway.
Who do you guys think he's choosing? Who do you think he's chosen? Who do you think he's chosen?
For the fifth starter?
For the fifth starter.
I think he's chosen Jared Vanderbilt.
Me too. I think it's Vando's job to lose. Let's put it that way. I think that there could be.
Well, but when he says he's chosen him, that's sort of like saying that he's not going to lose it during preseason.
No,
that's
I don't
right.
think that's
yes.
true.
Yeah. No, I agree with Tom. I think that's kind of the nuance.
D'Lo's not going to lose his job.
D'Lo's not going to lose his job.
No,
but
no.
I think Vando is penciled in as the fifth starter, and that it's not his job to guarantee. I don't think it's a guarantee that he'll start the season as the starter, but I think it's his job to lose.
He'd have to shoot like 0 for 20.
And
he'd have to start.
Yeah. And you know something?
Yeah. If he did shoot 0 for 20, he shouldn't start.
He's almost a career 60% shooter from the field anyway, and that's without a 3-point shot. If he upticks a little bit, oh my God, does that contract look more valuable and valuable?
If he can just be the backdoor cutter that we want him to be, if he can be the guy.
Two hands, Vando. You got to finish with 2 hands. Go up strong. Come on. Strong. We saw that too much last year.
Yep.
He tried to be fancy and finesse it up there. No, just slam it down, brother.
Now he grew an inch, so we're getting there. We're there.
Wait a minute, I thought it was 2 inches. He said it was 2 inches, man.
Anyway, but
but we now admitted that it's only 1 inch.
I think it's Vando's role to lose to start games, because
I think you guys are probably right. But the one thing that does strike me is that every day I've been following who's getting the praise. And every day I keep hearing, obviously about Reeves, who's been playing sensational. But the guy who also just gets raves every day is Rui.
Yep.
And if you look at pay, which isn't always a determinant.
Nope.
But who got the biggest contract, the longest contract?
Rui.
Who's training with LeBron James?
Rui.
Who could also almost give us two bigs?
3, if you play Wood and
yeah. But I mean, when you talk about two bigs, everybody's talking about Hayes or Wood. But Rui showed already that he can be the third big, because if you can guard Jokic and keep him out, then you can guard anybody down there, at least enough to let that roaming AD really be the defense. So I don't think it's going to happen. I think you guys are right that I think they want to it's a confidence builder for Vando. They want to give him a chance to show that he can be that starter. Because if he can, they'd like the worst case to be that he improved dramatically, but Rui was so sensational he took his job. Or Wood was so sensational he took his job, But
sure.
They want to believe in him. They want to believe in him. And same thing with D'Lo. This is everything in the Lakers is always built toward optimizing those players.
Yep.
We committed to D'Lo. Damn it, we're not going to throw him under the bus.
No, nor should they. Because
and this is exactly what I think is smart general managership and smart coaching to.
Yep.
You've got to support your players, and that whole thing, and that's absolutely right, because you can't take 6 games out of a guy's career and just throw away, because he's hard to replace. It's not easy to replace him.
No.
There's only probably 15 guards that are better than him at point guard that we would want to have.
I mean, I don't know if there's 15. Well, there's 15.
Well, that's nice. It includes 10 or 12 of them that are not available.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're talking about the ones that are available, that's a very short list. If you're talking about ones that you just wish were on the team, there's like 15.
Yeah.
But like,
you got Trey, you got Trey and Kyrie is the only really big shots that you're going to go, and I hope we don't go for either one of them.
No, I mean, I like Trae Young, but I don't expect him to become a Laker anytime soon, if ever. Last thing I think in terms of the starting lineup, there is a world where I could see because it's preseason, because there's no LeBron, seeing how Hachimura does in the LeBron slot makes a lot of sense as if for the games LeBron can't go.
Well, when LeBron plays and starts, he's not going to play the 3. He's going to play the 4, and Rui is going to play
but you know what I mean. Like he'll start at the small forward.
Right.
He'll start. He won't unless we're starting AD at 5, which I just don't see it's going to happen. I think unless it's Vando, then you'll have this weird
unless Wood has a really terrific camp in preseason and these defense looks good.
Yeah. Somebody not getting any mention tonight from anybody is Cam Reddish. What do we expect to see out of Cam? Do we expect him to try?
I think he's a wild card at the 2, because I think that backup shooting guard spot is the weakness in the team. Now Christie can change that conversation really strong. If he comes through and plays like he did, we saw in summer league, and he shows that he really can handle it. That would
I would think Coach Shafino has a shot to get more minutes, based on the hype coming out of, and the fact that
what he does is based upon the defense, man. Because
and
D'Lo and Reeves can be D'Lo and Reeves. I mean, you're going to have D'Lo and Reeves go against Beal and Booker.
Yep,
man, that's a pretty heavy load.
Well, but then the rest of the team's got to make up for it.
I know, but
I mean, this is why I can see
that right there could be 20-point differential.
Well, I mean, you're talking about 2 of the elite scorers in the game, but
that's what this league has now devolved into. When you look at the West,
yeah, but those 2 guys are also going to give up 20 points a game on the other end. I'm not too worried about that. They're gonna be giving it up just as well as they're getting it. That's the problem with those teams.
You put those 2 against our 2, and we're going to have a deficit of double digits for sure in scoring.
Yeah, but AD will be destroying Durant, and LeBron will keep pace. LeBron will keep pace.
We hope. But then the other side, then you got Kevin Durant to talk about on the other side. And,
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the Suns. The Suns are going to implode. This is the year they truly implode, and maybe Oh man, it's coming. It's coming. I one of the reasons I could see Jalen beating Reddish out in terms of role is that he plays a power game. He's a power dude. He's not like another guy who's just going to float around the perimeter. He's another guy that can get into the paint and create for guys off of post ups or slip screen stuff. Put his body into a guy, get to the basket, and
very grounded pound.
Very grounded, yeah. So it's a different look for the team, and I think it'll be interesting to see who heads the second unit. Is it Vincent or is it Shafino? And is Vincent somebody who they just kind of let played a lot of minutes? Another guy who played a lot of minutes all up until the playoffs ended, right? So another guy who you could,
in a way, Shafino has an opportunity. Shafino has a good opportunity because he's really a point guard, and Gabe really is not a point guard in the sense of the word.
He's more like a D'Lo.
He's more of a combo guard, I guess you'd call him.
He's another combo guard.
We brought him in for one thing: shooting and pretty good defense. Okay, those are the two things I think he can bring to the table. So,
I agree. Problem child. Preseason's very important. People like to diss on preseason. I never do.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the two. But the two, who's going to be the shooting guard backup, is kind of important because Reeves is going to spend some of his time at point guard. So that means the guy who's backing up him is going to have a chance when he goes to point guard to play more maybe than normal backup who might only get, Reeves is going to play 30 minutes. It might only be 18 minutes left for the other guy, or 17 or 16 minutes for the backup. But he might get 20 minutes just because Reeves is playing two positions or three positions if we go small with him as a wing. I hate to hate that, but we know he loves that.
Yeah, Darren had a great point in the chat. Habits can be developed in preseason. Losing is a bad habit. I remember we had some preseason back when Byron Scott.
Brown.
Everybody was like, "Oh, preseason doesn't matter. We'll see what these guys can do in the regular season." And you develop habits, you develop an identity. Preseason definitely matters. It's
we had too many new players and too many players who were developing fast.
Every season we had too many new players. Every season we had to roster turnover. That's what I love about this season. I'm really excited to see this all.
Yeah, we have 7 guys coming back from last year.
Yep,
that's big.
Should we end it with a go Lakers?
No. We're not
what
done
about
yet.
Our predictions
we're not done yet.
For the league team that doesn't count.
Yeah. We're about to move on to the secondary topic of today's discussion, and that was the ESPN power rankings. I don't know where these people get their analytic experts from or what they put in their Kappa Java today. But if you look at the top 8, it is absolutely ridiculous. To start off with, they have the Memphis Grizzlies being atop the Western Conference with 48 wins.
No, Suns are going to win the conference.
And then here's the hitch, Jamie. They actually have the Minnesota Timberwolves as the 2nd seed in the Western Conference with 47.7 wins. Rounding out the rest of the top 8, the Nuggets are the 3rd seed. They have the Warriors as the 4th seed. The Suns as the 5th seed. They have the Pelicans as the 6th seed. The Kings as the 7th seed with 43 wins. And the Lakers are the 8th seed with 41.5.
That's a 1.5 less than we won last year.
That's correct. ESPN predicts that the Lakers will win less games this year than they did last year.
We're
and just to conclude
41 and 41.
Just to conclude the top 10, they have the Mavericks finishing 9th and the Clippers finishing 10th. I could see that scenario actually happening. But top 8, gentlemen, a little funky there. I don't think that even if they had the best season of their organization, I still don't see the Minnesota Timberwolves winning 48 games in a conference that's this deep.
No.
Tom,
do you see anybody winning 50 games
this year? The whole thing seems crazy to me. There definitely is going to be, when you look at the schedule, especially the way that certain teams have improved. The West, all of a sudden, is a beast. Well, the East has basically got two giants.
Well, you got 11. You got 11 teams with playoff rosters.
Yeah, you basically listen. The other counter to this is the odds makers. So you go to the odds makers, and the Lakers are fifth. Two teams are tied for first. They're both the teams in the East. They're the odds-on favorites. And then the next two teams that are tied are the two teams in the West, the Nuggets and the Suns. And then the Lakers are fifth. So we should be third in the West as an estimate. I think that's somewhat reasonable. I do think we're better than the Suns. I think we'll finish second to the Nuggets, but I think we could beat the Nuggets if we have a good season and if we're able to make at least one addition at the trade deadline. Flip Russell for somebody. You know, it could be a Miles Turner, could be a Buddy Hield, could be any, you know, Gary Trent Jr. There's a variety of people out there that could fill that role to give us another strong person in the lineup while still keeping our depth and so forth. So it's so funny how ESPN just always disrespects the Lakers. And I don't know whether it's that East Coast bias that's there. You know, it's the simple fact that
it's not just the Lakers. It looks like they're really giving a lot of disrespect to the Kings, who had a really good year, who have a very good roster. They've added to it, they've also excluded the Oklahoma City Thunder from the play-in. Tom, I think that's absurd. I would say we're
sort of in a turning over of the guard in some ways. I think we're starting to see that. We're going to see it over the next 5 years are going to have some major retirements that are going to totally dramatically.
There are a couple what in the hell are you teams, and the Pelicans are definitely what the hell are you? Because I could see them being a top 5 seed. I could see them being in a play-in. I could see them missing the playoffs entirely. Do you agree, Jamie?
100%. I think the Pelicans are probably the greatest wild card X Factor team in the West, followed closely by the Thunder, because the Thunder have so much raw talent that they can just go hard every single game. And the regular season playoff teams don't want to go hard every single game.
Right, and Jamie, Lakers fans should know this already about the Thunder, because remember, we won our first title, and they were still coming up. And do you remember what happened next year, Tom? They won 50 games.
They won 50 games.
They won 50 games and met us in the first round.
And they were great, and they blew it.
And they still
a pow bucket away from a game 7.
That's number 1 in the league. There's 5 teams with more than 10, and they've got 15 of them.
Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, I think what I would do is I would move everybody up under the top 3. Memphis is going to be like 5th or 6th. Right. I think that their Cinderella story ended last season. I think John Morant's going to have a hard time recapturing his mojo. I think he'll play fine. I just think that
I do like the Marcus Smart addition, though.
But Mark he can only do so much, and he's
a little bit of a wild card himself.
I mean, that team's going to come down to is Desmond Bane. Can Desmond Bane average 30 points a game?
No.
That's the real question for the Grizzlies. Can Desmond Bane average close to 30 points a game, and can Jared Jeffries Jr. recapture his defensive mojo, be the defensive mojo that he showed he wasn't in the Olympics,
that he got.
FIBA, rather. So those are the 2 questions. And if Smart and Jeffries can form a nice defensive tandem, if Bane can be a release valve on offense and hit those shots, they're not going to have the defensive acumen of Dylan Brooks, nor will they have his offensive negative. So that's a big question, just how much they got rid of there. I don't have them anywhere near first, though. I have them like
I think something tells me Memphis. Jamie, you're right.
First third of the season too.
He's going to miss the first 25 games, but Tom, I think they'll be all right. They'll put Smart at the 1.
They'll put Smart
at the 1. They'll either have Kennard or somebody
they've always
else
played. They've always played well without John.
They have.
They
have. That's kind of a bad open secret amongst NBA executives. Right. Oh, look at this.
And
data
people
Look at their backup point guard. He's always
Right.
been a great backup point guard, man.
But
Yeah,
it's gonna be a dogfight. It really in the dogfight of dogfights. This is the most competitive I felt the Western Conference has been since about 2008, when there were about 6 or 7 teams who could make claim that they were a contender. It's just gonna be, as Jamie said, who's playing the best in March and April
Yep.
with the least injury problems right now.
That's the key to the West. Stay healthy, stay in the mix.
Yeah,
Because it's always that. Look, Denver had their bump in the road in January and February. They got out to that
Epic start.
that big epic start. The defense kind of dipped a little bit, but they had their bumps. They learned from it, and like Jamie said, like the best team who wins it coming out of the West is playing the best, and they're pretty much all systems go. No injuries, nobody coming on with the wheels on the ground. You don't got to worry about bringing somebody in who's not fresh. So I think it's just going to come down to that. So ultimately, I think it's just for clicks, something like that, because the three panelists here have not paid attention to that 4-letter word for a long time, and their opinions mean as much as your soil you have in your garden.
They're just trying to fix their bottom line. So you're right. It's all about clicks. They're going to have cash flow issues here soon, and talent departure issues as well.
Absolutely. So before we head on out, any last thoughts on the game tonight, Tom?
No, I'm just excited to watch some Lakers basketball. It's I don't have the Yankees to root for right now. The 49ers are off to a good start. I was kind of hoping that this might have been the year where I could get a triple crown, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But I do have to admit that the next baseball season would be a 24 ending, and the next Super Bowl is going to be in 24, and the Lakers season is in 24. So the Lakers have a chance.
And when you're throwing all these numbers around, we're heading into 2024. It really feels like
this is the most impactful game that you're going to face for the next day.
So I'm just hoping, we come out of this game healthy. Nobody tweaks anything. Nobody has a twisted knee. Nothing like that. Just go easy. It's preseason, all right? Everybody understands. You want to show your
the injury karma feels very good this year.
I think so too. I feel pretty good about it. Thank you for
real
wood.
Real wood.
Yes, real wood.
No plastic, man. No plastic.
All right.
No particle board.
This was a really fun time, everybody. We gladly enjoyed it. It's always fun when the Lakerholics come to the Lakers Fast Break. This is the family.
You doing the watch party, Sean?
Yeah, we're going to be on playback, Tom. I know you like to see the game live, and so does Joe.
I'll drop in at halftime. I'll drop in at halftime.
Gerald says I ruined it for everybody, but it was going to come ahead eventually that everybody found out. Anyway, with that, thank you, everybody, for the Lakers Fast Break with the Lakerholics Spotlight Weekend. I'm your host, Magic Man. I want to thank my co-host, Laker Tom, Yummy Soup. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you later after the game on the show. Please come by. See you later.